All right, hey out there, all my cool cats and kittens. I've been told that my videos are too dry and boring, so let's spice up factor labeling. How about that? Do put up top, it's also called dimensional analysis. We're going to practice this method again today. So factor labeling, so we have to label each of our factors. That's super important to this. The key to this, and I want you to write this on there too, you can always multiply by 1. You can always multiply by 1 and you'll have equivalent answers. For an equivalent answer. That is the key to all this. Okay, so we're going to write the steps down. If you didn't write down these steps earlier, I want to see these in your notes. 4 steps. First, we're going to write what you want to convert over 1. Okay, so I'll just do step 1 while we're doing this. A bridge connecting 2 cities separated by lake was 4,698 209 thousandths. So we write that 4,698.209. You gotta have your label on there. Over 1. That's step 1. Step 2, we are going to write a fraction equivalent to 1. Okay, so we're going to do times, and now I'm going to put a fraction equivalent to 1. I'm going to part A to 2. Start with the denominator. And our denominator, we know, has to match our previous numerator. Start with denominator that matches previous numerator. Okay, so yards. Then I'm going to change it into something. My answer, I know I want to go to miles, so I'm going to match up yards and miles if possible. I can do that. 1760 yards equals 1 mile. Okay, and we always want to include the label. Always include labels. It's factor labeling. We need labels. Step 3 is only if necessary. If necessary, repeat step 2. If it's not necessary, we have an answer. And then we're going to solve while crossing out labels. Okay, so we have yards and yards. So what we're going to be left with in our numerator is 4,698.209 miles over 1760 yards. So you can use a calculator when a calculator is available for you. This one definitely has a calculator available for us. Ooh, gives you a big nasty answer. It wants you to round to the nearest tenth. It's going to give you 2.669 on and on and on to the nearest tenth. The answer is 2.7, and the only label I have left is miles because we crossed out yards. 2.7 miles. Okay, next one. Dan cycled 7 laps on a bike path around the lake. Each lap was the same length. If he cycled a total of 23.1 miles, what was the length of each lap around the lake? Write your answer in feet. Okay, so first we're going to figure out how long each lap was. We're going to do 23.1 miles divided by 7. Okay, that's only the first part of that. So that gives us 3.3 miles per lap. Okay, so we're 3.3 miles. Okay, now we can go through the factor labeling. Over 1, we want to get rid of miles. And so looking at our conversion, we want to end in feet. That's 5,280 feet is 1 mile. Then I'm going to cross off miles. And all I have to do is 3.3 times 5,280, and I'm going to end up with feet. And my answer is 17,424 feet. All right, next question. A bottle holds 48 fluid ounces of lemonade. How much is that in pints? Okay, so step 1, write what we know. Put it over 1. I want to get it out of fluid ounces, and I want to end up with it in pints. Looking over at our table, we don't have that conversion. So we're going to make this a 2-step problem. All right, so first I'm going to change it to cups. So that's 8 fluid ounces is 1 cup. Okay, so now I'm out of fluid ounces and I'm into cups. So I want to change it out of cups and I want to change it to pints. I do have that conversion too. 1 pint is 2 cups. Okay, so now I can cross out cups. And I'm just left with up top, 48 times 1 times 1 is 48. And on the bottom, 8 times 2 is 16. So I have 48 pints over 16, which is just the answer of 3 pints. Okay, so that's 2-step factor labeling. Next one, on a long hike, Goran drank 5 pints of water. That's what I'm starting with. How much did he drink in quarts? So I'm going to change pints to quarts if that's possible. Oh yeah, 1 quart is 2 pints. Okay, so now I can cross out pints. And I'm left with up top 5 quarts over 2. And this wants our answer as a whole number or a mixed number. Well, 5 over 2, 2 goes into 5 2 times with a remainder of 1/2, 2.5 quarts. Next question. A coffee pot holds 4 1/4 quarts of coffee. How much is this in cups? Okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put this into an improper fraction. So that's 17 fourths quarts is what I'm starting with. And I'm not putting this over 1. I'm putting 17 quarts on the top and 4 on the bottom because that's kind of what it told us. How much is this in cups? So now I'm going to change quarts to cups. We don't have that over here. Okay, so first I'm going to change quarts to pints. 1 quart is 2 pints. So I'm going to get rid of quarts. Now I'm going to change pints to cups. 1 pint is 2 cups. So I can cross out pints, and I'm left with cups in my numerator. 17 times 2 times 2. Oh, you know what? I can simplify first. Check this out. Let's make life easier. The 4 and 2 can become 2 and 1, and then the 2 and 2 can 1 and 1. So I'm left with 17 cups over 1, which is just 17 cups. Well, that was cool. That worked out nice. All right, these last few actually give you blanks to do multi-step. This is kind of cool how Alex does this for you. A tree is 60 feet tall. How many inches is this? Okay, so I'm going to end up with my answer over here in inches. First, fill in the blanks with the ratio. So I want to get out of feet, and I want to go into inches. So I'm going to grab the ratio that works for that, with feet on the bottom and inches on the top. There it is. And Alex, you can just drag it. Right now we're going to have to write it. So you're going to do 60 times 12. Well, 6 times 12 is 72, so 720 inches. Cross out your feet. Get in that habit. It is 720 inches over 1, but we don't have to write that. A construction worker is building a wall. The wall is 20 yards long. He needs to place a stud every 16 inches. You know what a stud is? A stud are those going up and down. You don't have to draw this. These are studs. And that is true. That's how far apart you put them. The first stud has already been placed at one end of the wall, over here. How many additional studs are needed if the last stud will be all the way at the other end of the wall? Okay, so we're going to use factor labeling for this. We could figure it out other ways, but that's what it wants us to do. First, fill in the blanks on the left side of the equation using 3 of the ratios shown. We've got a bunch of ratios here. Then write your answer on the right side. Okay, so we're starting in yards, so I need a denominator with yards on it. This is the only one that works for that. Okay, so now I can cross out yards, and I'm in feet. I'm not in studs yet. By the end, I want studs up top. I know that. Okay, so let's see how we can change out of feet. I could do this one or this one. Well, I don't want to change it back to yards. We just changed it out of yards, so don't use that. So let's use this one. 12 inch, this 1 foot, so now I can cross out feet, and I'm in inches. So I want to get rid of inches and change it into studs. So that's this one. Oh wait, no it's not. Sorry about that, that's this one. 1 stud is 16 inches. So look what happens with my labels. The only label I have left is studs. So now I need to multiply my numerators. Well, let's simplify first. On the bottom I have 16. So let's simplify 16 and 12. Change that to 8 and 6. When I divide by 2, I could have divided by 4. That would have made more sense. But let's divide by 2 again. And then let's divide 20 and 4 by 2. And then let's divide 2 and 10 by 2. There was a faster way to do this, but this works well too. So I'm left with 1 as my denominator after all these. And my numerator is 5 times 3 times 3, so 30. I need 30 studs. There you have it. Factor labeling, dimensional analysis at its best. Let's do another one like that. A craft of medicine with a density of 2,650 kilograms per cubic meter, you see it over here, will be shipped from England to the US. What is the crate's density in pounds per cubic feet? See over here we have pounds per cubic feet. First, fill in the 2 blanks on the left side of the equation using 2 of the ratios. Then write your answer rounded to the nearest hundredth on the right side. Okay, there'll be a calculator for this. Okay, this is a little higher value. I'm not going to assign this in your classwork, but I do want you to watch and do this. Okay, so I want to change it out of kilograms. So I need kilograms in my denominator. So I'm going to grab this one. And now I can see I'm out of kilograms. And I'm into pounds. Well, now, if you look at this first one, I want to get it out of cubic meters. So I want the cubic meters on top. That gives me feet on the bottom. Well, hot diggity, look at your answer. If we look at the labels that are left, in the numerator we have pounds like we wanted. In the denominator we have feet like we wanted. So now I just need to multiply across. 2,650 times 2.2 gave you in your numerator 5,800. I'm going to write this off to the side, 30. And then in my denominator I have 35.3. I guess I didn't have to write it off to the side. I can just divide that by 35.3 in my calculator. And that should give you 165.155, which rounds up to 1/6. All right, that's how you do this. Good luck.